what are some of the things that you have heard from clients, or some of the things that you've seen them do that might be ill-advised as it relates to, the project management tool, and how that tries to solve for a lot of the operational challenges that people are looking to solve inside their agency?
The project management tool often is the first piece of software that someone will latch onto, someone being a leader, someone being a project manager, someone who's close to the leader or in a delivery role, to try and solve for some level of chaos that's happening or disorganization that's happening, where they're just feeling very granularly like they don't have a strong sense of organization and they'd like to change that. In addition, they also are hoping, because they've been promised through various different marketing campaigns for these tools, that this tool is going to solve for not only their delivery problems, but also give them some visibility into all these questions that they're trying to answer. So that's your utilization. You'll be able to see that all of a sudden. You'll be able to tell where there are gaps in capacity, how much capacity people have, all these questions that sound like things that are missing. And I think they're all kind of marketed it in such a way that it's easy to kind of fall into this trapper mindset that this project management tool is going to be this silver bullet that once installed, we've got the answers to not just kind of tame this day-to-day workflow and chaos, but also installing the answers to all these questions and just addressing things across the board, both at the PM level and at the exec level. So that is a very common trap that I see across agencies across the board.
And I think you've raised an important thing here, which is it's easy for us to sit here on our high horse and poo-poo on people that get excited about a project management tool and think like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to have all this visibility into projects and people and utilization and forecasting, but this is what they're being sold. And don't get me wrong, we have a lot of friends that own, that run, that work at these companies. They're great products. They're impressive. As a person that has built software, these are amazing tools. Everybody should have a project management platform. However, I do think it's fair to say that for the vast majority of these platforms, they are massively overselling their capabilities when it comes to the profit management side of the business. Or at the very least, I think you could argue that, and this makes sense, why would you put an asterisk on the website and then list out all of the requirements that are, for most firms, not feasible, that need to be met, and all of the edge cases and idiosyncrasies that you happen to have to just be able to not deal with in order to actually get a lot of these outcomes that are being sold. And therein lies the problem. And I think there's people that are listening to this that might already be feeling some resistance to this idea. And then there's other people who have been doing this for a while and have reached that point in sort of the experts curve, where they've gone from sort of unaware optimism to aware pessimism, where they've had enough experiences trying to implement a project management tool to realize that every one of them is going to be awesome in some ways. And then they're going to have this weird idiosyncrasy where this field just doesn't show up in exports for no reason at all, or you can't link this tag to this tag, or there's a limit on how many of these fields you can use, or you can't put apostrophes in the naming convention for this one specific field for no reason at all, and it wasn't documented in the support docs. And you always run into stuff like this that forces you to then try to figure out workarounds, and in the end you end up with a bunch of stuff that you need and a whole bunch of stuff that is still not quite where it needs to be.